Today we are going to get into the first part of our percent unit, and our topic today is going to be to convert rationals, and it's like crucial for you to know how to do this. Your learning target, you can convert between fractions, decimals, and percents. First thing you need to know is what the heck converting means. Converting just means to change form, to go from one form to another. All of this, you will be able to use your calculator, and you will need your calculator. If you don't have one, use an iPad, but be ready. So I'm going to just tell you the process first. If we convert from a fraction and we want to go to a decimal, you go top divided by bottom. That's our process. That's how we do it. If we want to turn a percent to a fraction, you're going to do the percent number over 100. Percent is always over 100, always. If you want to convert from a decimal to a fraction, you do the number over the place value. Okay? To convert from a percent to a decimal, you move the decimal 2 spots to the left. If you want to convert from a fraction to a percent, you go top divided by bottom, and then you move the decimal 2 spots to the right. And I use this one all the time when I'm grading your tests and stuff. If you got like 27 out of 30, I go 27 divided by 30, and then I move the decimal 2 spots to the right to tell me what your percent is. If you want to go from a decimal to a percent, you move 2 spots to the right. Now, I just wanted to give you all the different conversions that can happen and how you do it. So I would save these notes for sure so you can reference them on your homework the next couple days. So our logical sequence, what I typically do, I go from a fraction, and then I turn the fraction to a decimal, top divided by bottom, and then I go from decimal to percent, just moving the decimal over. Okay, we're going to complete this table here. It looks like I have a fraction of 2/3. What is that in decimal form? Well, let's see. How do I turn a fraction to a decimal? It looks like I need to go top divided by bottom. So I'm going to do that. 2 divided by 3 is 0.6 repeating. So I'm going to go ahead and write that, 0.6, and I'm going to make a few of them because I need to convert it to a percent. Okay, that's in decimal form. To convert it to a percent, a decimal to a percent, that's right here. I move the decimal 2 spots to the right. So that's 1, 2 over. So it should be 66.6 repeat percent. And all I did is looked at my rule right there to tell me how to convert that. Okay, the next one I'm given a decimal, 0.13, and I need to turn it to a fraction and a percent. So my fraction, to convert from a decimal to a fraction, right here it tells me I should do the number, which is 13, over the place value. It looks like I'm 10 100. 13 over 100 is it as a fraction. And as a percent, I need to move it 2 spots to the right. That would be 13%. Okay, given my percent, now I need to turn my percent to a decimal and a fraction. Well, I have this little decimal right here. It's always hiding at the end there. And I just want to check, how do I turn a percent to a decimal? I know it's up here. Percent to decimal right here. It says move the decimal 2 spots to the left. Okay, so I can do that. So I'm going to turn this 2 spots to the left, so it would be 0.14. And then to turn it to a fraction, it's the number over the place value, 14 over 100, and then simplify that, 7 over 50. Okay, 5/7. Turn it to a decimal. I'm going to go 5 divided by 7, which is a big number. I'm going to just round it to the nearest hundredth. No, I'm going to round it to the nearest thousandth. So it's going to be 0.714, approximately. It's a bigger number than that. Then to convert it from the decimal to percent, I just move the decimal over 2, and I get 71.4%. All right, next page. Please make sure that you reference, if you get confused, reference the top page to see how you do it. You shouldn't not do your assignment because you don't get it. You can do this. This is review, and I gave you the process on the other page. So what are the 3 forms to write a rational number? The 3 ways to do it is you can write it as a fraction, a decimal, and a percent. That's the 3 ways we can write a rational number. And I want us to convert the following into all 3 forms. So 0.14 is already given to me as a decimal, so now I need to turn it to a fraction, and I also need to turn it to a percent. 0.14 as a fraction is the number over the place value. Hey, I think we just did this, which is 7 over 50. Percent, we just move the decimal 2 to the right, and it's 14%. 2/5, now I need to turn it to a decimal since it's already a fraction, and a percent. So to turn it to a decimal in my calculator, I'm going to divide it by 5 is 0.4. In percent, I need to move 2 spots to the right. So there's 1, placeholder 0, looks like it's 40%. Okay, 96 is given to me as a percent, so I need to turn it to a decimal and a fraction. Right now I'm kind of regretting that I didn't put fraction first because it's really easy to turn a percent to a fraction. All you do is put the percent number over 100 and then simplify. I don't know that simplify, but I know they're both even, so I'm going to divide 96 by 2, divide 100 by 2. They're both even, so I can divide both of those by 2. And it looks like it's 24/25. In decimal, to turn from a percent to a decimal, you just move it 2 spots to the left, so it's 0.96. Okay, 0.95, I want to turn to fraction, and I'm just going to start abbreviating in percent. Fraction is the number over the place value. Simplify them. I know 5 goes into both of them. And percent would be 95%, moving it 2 spots to the right. 7, okay, that's tricky. The whole numbers can be tricky. So it's already given to me as a decimal, so I need to write it as a fraction and a percent. So a fraction would just be 7 over 1. In percent, you'd have to move this little decimal 2 spots to the right. So I would need 2 placeholder zeros. This is 700%. 45 is given to me as a decimal. Now I need to write it as a fraction in percent. Fraction is 45 over 1. Percent 2 spots to the right. Holy moly, 4,500%. Wow, that's huge. You usually don't get these ginormous numbers. Okay, 3/9 is already given to us as a fraction, so we need a decimal and a percent. 3 divided by 9 is 0.3 repeat. I'm going to write a few of them because I know I want to convert it to a decimal, which is just moving it or a percent, which is moving it 2 spots to the right, 33.3 repeat percent. And our last example, 22%. I want to convert it to a fraction and a decimal. Fraction, percent is number over 100. That's per the first page. So 22 over 100. Simplify 11 over 50. In decimal form would be 0.22. Moving the decimal that's hidden right there, move it 2 spots to the left, which would be 0.22. And that's what your learning target is today. You're going to be able to convert between all 3 forms to write a rational number. You can write it as a fraction, a decimal, and a percent.